Could it be? But me, your man, Louie T. Welcome to the command post. You know what it is. Post up. Take command. I, of course, am your commander in chief, Louie T. Thank you for joining me. So, a bunch of you hit me up yesterday. I got a bunch of DMs. A couple of people left comments on various videos. Had somebody super chat this on my podcast about Frankie Luvu's mini doc that the NFL put out about him, becoming a American citizen from Samoa to the U.S. And it's a really good watch if you haven't had a chance to check it out. Roughly 13 minutes long or so, worth the time to check it out. But I was on Frankie Luvu before he got here, and I was trying to convey that to you guys that this is a guy you're gonna fall in love with. And part of the reason I could speak so candidly about Frankie Luvu before he even got here when he was in Carolina was one, I had watched him play, but two, I had already watched a documentary that had come out about Frankie Luvu when he was in Carolina. And that documentary kind of led up to him signing with the Commanders. So it was just crazy how it kind of came full circle. And I'm pretty sure a lot of you haven't checked that documentary out. I think I might have mentioned it to you guys eons ago, but it was in passing. It wasn't like me really pushing you to go watch it. But now that this documentary has come out and you've kind of had a chance to watch this, if you've already watched it, you might want to go back and watch that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the link down in the description of this video, and I'm going to pin it to the comment section of this video. It's a 3-part series called I think it's the let me check, and I don't want to it's like the program or something like that. The Profile. It's called The Profile. It's done by a group that was managing Frankie Luvu called IFA, and they did a phenomenal job with this series. They did it for a couple of other clients. I know they did one for Rashad White as well of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, but it's called The Profile. It's 3 parts. And I would urge you, if you haven't watched the Frankie Luvu NFL, and I'm going to put the link to that one down in the comment section and the description of this video as well. If you haven't watched that one yet, I would urge you to watch the Profile 3-part doc first before you go over and watch the NFL one. It'll give you a little bit more perspective and a little bit more background and depth into who Frankie Luvu is, his journey, all of that stuff. I think they do a great job in the NFL documentary of digging a little bit deeper, going all the way back to his childhood and, showing some of the characters around him, i.e. Joe Salavea, who a lot of you should know. He was here in Washington, spent a lot of his career with the Tennessee Titans, really good football player. He is one of the coaches at Washington State. And obviously they cover a lot of that in the documentary on the NFL documentary, not the one on the IFA YouTube channel. So on the Profile, but he does mention Joe Salavea among other topics. And so I urge you to check out the first series that was put out on him on the Profile, episodes 1, 2, and 3, and then head over and watch the NFL documentary if you haven't already done so. I think Frankie Luvu is vastly becoming one of the fan favorites here in Washington, specifically on the defensive side of the football. How can you watch him play the game and not love his infectious energy? We love the chants in the locker room after the game is over. We love the way he plays the game with this zest and this life. And I think he is going to be a guy that leaves an indelible mark on this franchise before it's all said and done. And he signed a 3-year deal. I wouldn't be shocked if when that is up, he doesn't re-up here again and finish his career out here, or at least get towards the tail end of his career here in Washington, because he's still relatively young. I think he's going to be 28 this year, if I'm not mistaken. And the contract will be over right around the 29 going towards 30. And I think he'll still have a good 2-3 years left of football after that. So I wouldn't be shocked if Frankie Luvu's back, because the way he plays the game, and he was sort of a late bloomer. So I think there's a lot more tread on those tires. And he's going to be a huge part of what this team does this season from a pass rushing standpoint. He was last year, obviously, but he may have to be a bigger impact in that regard this year. And I've got a video coming out here shortly talking about the pass rush because it's been a hot topic of conversation for various reasons. We don't know if they're going to do anything else. I think there is still one more move left in the chamber for Adam Peters and company, but I wouldn't be shocked if there wasn't. So we've got to talk about how they're going to find a way to get close to the number of sacks that they had last year. Because if we could do what we did last year from a pass rushing standpoint, um, I think we'll be fine because we have a better secondary this time around in 2025. So I feel good about this team, this roster. This is a better team than the one that they put together and assembled a season ago. And if you don't see that or you don't think that that's the case, you're lying to yourself. This roster is better. Now the question is, can they be as cohesive a unit as they were a season ago? Can they gel and come together and execute the way that the team did last year and find ways to win like the team did last year? We've got plenty of time to talk about that, but really the basis of what I wanted to come here today to talk to you about on this particular show was Frankie Luvu. The new doc is out. It's on the NFL YouTube channel, but I'm gonna have the link down in the description of this video, and I'm gonna also pin it, the comment. But I urge you, even if you've already watched the NFL doc, the mini doc that they put out, go back and watch the profile. It's a 3-part series. I think the first video is 5 and some change. The second video is like 7 and some change, and then the last video is I think another 5 or 6 minutes long. So in totality, you're looking at about roughly 20 minutes or so, give or take, probably like 19 and some change when you combine the 3 videos. And so it's worth your time. If you haven't watched the NFL documentary, the mini doc on Frankie Luvu, I urge you to watch the profile 3-part series first and then transfer over to the NFL. And I'll put it in that sequence down in the comment section so that if you haven't checked out the NFL mini doc on Frankie Luvu, then you'll be able to watch it in that order and it'll make a lot more sense to you, I believe. It really doesn't matter what order you watch it in, but I think it makes more sense if you watch it in the order of the profile 3-part series and then the NFL series. Really touching stuff. Just in case you were wondering, Frankie Luvu's brother, you find out in both of those separate documentaries, the 3-part series and the NFL mini doc. And not to, spoiler alert, but his brother does pass away, right? Or his brother did pass away back in 2021. I was already nosy when I watched the series the first time, so I already knew about all of that. And he's actually started out, a bunch of foundations, and he's very vocal about his brother's passing. He's an advocate for suicide prevention. Yes, his brother did pass away via suicide. And so if any of you were wondering, what was the cause of death of his brother, that's what it was. So though that's always a tragic situation when someone decides to take their life, because it leaves your loved ones here asking questions like why, right? And it also makes you feel guilty because you feel like you could have done more. And Frankie struggled with that for a while. That's well documented and chronicled as well, that he struggled with that, feeling like he could have done more to help. And that's not always the case. And in many instances, it's not the case, but that's that survivor's guilt that people feel when someone takes their life. So it's a tough situation. If you know anyone that's struggling with thoughts of suicide, get them help, be there for them as much as you can, because it's a terrible situation that hurts so many people, and they leave a very broken wreckage behind them when people take their lives. So just wanted to put that out there as well. But in any event, I'm rambling now. Go check it out. It's worth your time. I've got another video coming down the pipeline about the edge rushing position and how the Commanders can find a way to manufacture pressure and get to that number that they hit, maybe even exceed it this upcoming season. Who knows? That'd be great, but I wouldn't count on it at this very moment. But that's going to do it for me, your man Louie T, here on the command post. You know what it is. Post up, take command. Make sure you hit the like button on the way out. And also, subscribe to the Louie T Network for more great content. Turn on your notification bell so you don't miss a thing. Until next time, you guys have a good one. Peace.
LouieTeeNetwork.